Chainsaw, blaze off running at full speed, and trust me, they know. Fear is a must to attain law. Hard as the neck of the rest of the brain off. It's beautiful out in the country, especially when any others confront me. I'm feeling for blood, I'm hungry. Murder this track and you're trying to hunt me. I'm in the house, the family's waiting. Turning the dinner table, we've been craving. Dinner we're plating. You are the course, we are the killers.
Hi everyone. Back from my little vacation over the weekend for life stuff, but I can say that it was a good vacation. For those of you that don't know what happened, I went to a wedding for my best bud, and that was a really nice event, and I met some nice people, ate some good food, so, it was really nice. And it's the first time I was ever at a wedding, so that was a cool little first time experience for me. But I have missed being on camera. Absolutely. I have absolutely missed being on camera doing these videos for you guys, and I apologize heavily for the long delay. I can only hope that what I filmed for you guys today would help make up for that. So, with our Jack Skellington perfectly lit up in the background, as well as full lights now, thanks to a lamp I have up there, and a smoke machine light I have back there, now we are ready to finish off the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. Another series on our little horror marathon. So, as for the Castlevania reviews, they're probably going to have to wait for tomorrow, because I gotta watch all those episodes and get caught up, so I can do all those reviews. So, for tonight, what you're getting is all 31 Days of Horror stuff. And then tomorrow, whenever I have time, you will get the Castlevania stuff and the 31 Days of Horror planned for that. Okay? Cool? Cool. Alright, let's talk about the 2003 remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and why it is a big improvement over the unwatchable pile of dog shit that was Next Generation. After that disaster, the series went into hiatus for a good few years. And then they came back with a remake that was one of the first horror remakes to start the giant remake race. That would then be followed up by remakes of way too many horror films to count, but most notably the god-awful 2010 Nightmare movie, and the surprisingly underrated and decent Friday the 13th 2009 movie that I have on the display back there. So, yeah. It was off to the remake races up the wazoo for the 2000s, which just wanted to remake every single movie known to mankind. Yes, including Halloween, which is also back there. So, it only seemed fitting that Texas Chainsaw would be a series that got remade, because pretty much every horror series gets remade right now. Like, even little cult movies like Silent Night, Deadly Night got a remake around this time frame in the 2000s or very early 2010s. So, as for my thoughts on remakes in general, if they are actually willing to do something different and unique, like the Hammer Frankenstein movies, I'm willing to actually give them a pass. Or if you're like the 2009 Friday the 13th remake, you try something new while keeping the same elements. However, if you are a lazy piece of absolute dog shit, like the Nightmare 2010 remake, I'm going to rip you apart. And of course the later Hammer Frankenstein movies, and the later Hammer Dracula movies, which I've already ripped apart both of those previous reviews. So, now we're on to what many people consider one of the best horror remakes out there, the 2003 remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I will say, as a remake, it's good. As a movie, though, As much as I love the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and really enjoy the second one for different reasons, the rest of this franchise I can't really say I like very much. And it's not that they're all unwatchable garbage. No, that's only a few of them. But a good chunk of these are just bad. Like, 3 was boring. 4 was just... Oh, God, I can't even talk about 4 again. It was so bad. So bad. So, this series did need a refresh after that disaster, but I can't say it's a good movie. I can say it's a good remake because it actually tries something new, and it's not just a straight rehash of the same shit from the 1974 movie, but as a movie, it still is just okay. Like, this is one of those remakes that I just don't understand the love for. Like, it has its fan base, it has one amazing element about it, but that's really about it. Outside of that, I honestly forget most of the time that this movie even exists. I even remember the Rob Zombie Halloween movie more than I remember this. Yeah, that's sad, to say the least. So, what are my overall thoughts on this movie? Well, pretty solid, short, sweet to the point review after a long ass preamble. I hope you enjoy, and I hope it sums up my thoughts well, without spoiling too much. Following the brain-rotting disaster of The Next Generation, the franchise went dormant for a good few years, before being dug up from its grave in 2003 by Platinum Dunes, as an entry into the obnoxious 2000s trend of remakes out the wazoo. However, where most of them just retread the exact same tired shit, TCM03 actually had the balls to try something new, and that is commendable. It's still chasing teens through the woods, sure, but the rest is actually pretty new and unique, which is commendable. The characters are new, nothing is rehashed from the original outside of being chased through the woods and obviously the guy chasing everyone with a chainsaw. But outside of that, it doesn't really repeat that many shots or repeat that many beats from the original 1974 movie. A lot of it is quite original. It's just a shame that most of that original stuff is very boring. Pros, decent kills. Very decent kills. The kills in this movie are decent, especially the hitchhiker in the beginning with that amazing pan-out shot. Easy best kill in the movie. Great new characters, especially Sheriff Hoyt, played by the late great R.L. Ermey, who many of you may remember as the prison boat warden from SpongeBob SquarePants, the episode Inmates of Summer. Give me a second, please. Sorry about that. Apparently the dog wanted to jump at the cat today. So where were we? Oh yeah, we were talking about R. Lee Ermey, who many of you may or may not remember as the voice of the prison boat warden from the SpongeBob episode Inmates of Summer, and of course the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, who's easily the best part of the movie. Sheriff Hoyt is the best thing that this remake added, because he's a great new character, he's scary as hell, but he's also surprisingly kind of funny, especially when you learn his origin later from the prequel movie. One of the only good things in the prequel movie. Andrew Bynarski is a badass Leatherface. Like, I'm not even going to try to deny that. I do think Gunnar Hansen is better, but I do like Andrew's take on it. It's a lot like Derek Mears, I believe his name is. It was Derek Mears, right? I believe so. Derek Mears, that played Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th remake. I'm going to keep bringing that up because that's one of my favorite remakes. Where he is a scary new version, but he keeps true to everything that makes the character, if you get what I'm saying here. And a cool little fun fact trivia about Andrew Bynarski is that he was later brought back to play sort of silence variation of Leatherface in the Welcome to Horrorwood music video for Ice Nine Kills, which was really damn cool. He even got to wield a chainsaw. That was really damn cool. The cinematography is really cool. This movie is beautiful to look at and very well shot. And it has some pretty good gore effects. It's not super violent and gory as we're going to see in the next few films, but it's still a good bit gorier than the previous ones. Please ignore my watch beeping telling me that's 8 o'clock at night. I know. But, unfortunately, everything else about this movie is a bit of a mess. Cons, the main human characters are boring slasher fodder. Even Jessica Alba cannot make her character interesting. The pacing is way too slow, it's far too long, the amount of scenes of Jessica Alba being chased through the woods is outright nauseating. It happens way too much in the movie is what I'm saying. And the rewatchability is middling. I'll pop it in every now and then if I'm revisiting the series, but outside of that, I don't really rewatch this movie that often. Heck, even sometimes when I'm rewatching the movies, I just skip over the remakes because I just don't have any feelings about them one way or the other. They're just fine to me. Aside from the next one, the prequel's kind of bad, but we'll talk about it. Overall, though, this is a pretty solid remake and deserves recognition for actually trying something new, but it still kind of averages out as a film and is nowhere close to the first two movies. It has its fans, and I understand that, and if you are a fan of this movie, continue to enjoy it. This is just another one of those that's just not for me. But outside of Sheriff Hoyt, I just don't remember this movie at all. It's a one and done at best. It's a good remake, I just can't say it's a good movie. It's leagues better than the third and fourth films, but overall, it's still, in my opinion, just okay. It has its moments, but not really worth going back to all that often, unfortunately. At least in my opinion. I know a lot of people love this movie, and that's okay. Continue to love what you want to love. Different opinions is what makes film talks so fascinating and interesting. But for me personally, this movie's about a 5 out of 10. It is an average film, it's an average remake, and while it is a good remake, it's still kind of just an average movie for me. I can't say the same about the next one though, which ends this timeline because it ends on a prequel. A really pointless and bad prequel at that, and we'll talk all about it next time. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you when we finish off yet another confusing timeline in this series with Texas Chainsaw Massacre: New Beginning.
The pain I pushed aside.